Hello, everyone. It's time for another expert session, and today we are lucky enough to have Larry Kim, the founder of WordStream, with us. He will share his knowledge on the new and improved way to do email marketing. Let's get right into Larry's presentation.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I have a really exciting talk for you today. We're going to be talking about the new email marketing. And so, what the heck do I mean by the new email marketing? Email marketing's been around forever. 15, 20 years basically. And so I wanted to put together a presentation of some kind of less obvious ways of how to both collect new emails and how to run campaigns, really highly effective email marketing campaigns that are a little bit kind of new ways of doing this. And I think this will be very exciting and interesting to all of you. I just want to introduce myself briefly before getting into all the details on how to kill it in email marketing. My name is Larry Kim. I'm the founder of WordStream. My kind of area of expertise is, I don't know who puts these slides together, but it's basically pay-per-click marketing. So internet marketing like search ads, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, that kind of thing. And that's me there wearing my favorite shirt because it gives me 25% more speed. And that's, of course, really into productivity hacks. All right, so back to our topic at hand today. We're talking about email marketing. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's been around forever. It's actually the most popular marketing channel used by businesses. Like 87% of the millions of businesses out there use email marketing, and it's more than any other type of marketing like PPC marketing or social marketing. Like email marketing really is the king. Now, the there's some problems ahead here. So what I'm trying to say here is that, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but the internet, it's kind of a noisy place, and it's getting more and more noisy. I thought this was a kind of an interesting infographic. I didn't make this one. I just found it on the internet. But basically, this is what happens on the internet in 1 minute. There's something like 4 million posts on Facebook, and 347,000 tweets, and all this stuff is happening. And so basically, the battle for people's finite attention, which is important, because if you're a marketer, you're basically fighting other brands and people for your customers' attention. It's getting more and more noisy, and so. So what does that mean for email marketing? Well, I think there's some challenges ahead here, and I just wanted to share with you a few of them. Here's one of them. A lot of the emails that companies are sending out in terms of their email marketing campaigns, they're actually ending up in these weird dungeons. So here's one such dungeon, unroll.me. It's like, even though I've subscribed to emails from Barnes and Nobles and Microsoft and all these other places, it's rolling them up into kind of like this digest that I never read anymore. So that's really frustrating. And here's another such dungeon. It's like the promotions tab in Gmail. So like, even though I subscribe to all those promotional emails, Gmail is kind of sorting them out of the way from my primary inbox, meaning I won't even see these things. So there's like so much spam being sent, that I think what I'm saying is that email isn't quite the golden age of email marketing that it used to be, given the high rate of distractions and all these dungeons that are kind of capturing all of our well-intentioned email marketing efforts. And this is just like a trend of click-through rates. Not surprising, the email effectiveness overall, it seems to drop every quarter, and it's just because it's so noisy and competitive out there. And just one other thing to add to the pile, there's like this increasingly complex regulations around like who you're allowed to email and how frequently, and treating their privacy policies and all this stuff. And so this is even more of a nightmare. It's not quite as free as it used to be. So I just was thinking here, wouldn't it be cool if there was some crazy way that you could make your email marketing work like it did back in the golden days, when it was just your email and you were top of mind, and you didn't have to worry about all these things, and you could generate so much engagement, like open rates and stuff like this, at very, very low cost. And no, the answer is not alien technology. There is an answer. It's this new emerging field of email-based pay-per-click marketing. And so that's what I was going to be talking about today. And specifically a technology called custom audiences. So custom audiences, it's basically a really, really new addition to advertising technology. Um, you know, what you can do here with these emails is you can upload lists of emails directly into the social and search platforms. So Google, Twitter, Facebook, you can create custom tailored audiences and just upload the email lists of people on your list and target ads to those specific people. And here it is on Facebook, same idea. You just upload your own list and have a file of all the emails of people in your list. Now you might want to segment that list. Maybe it's like different segmentations, like people who've purchased recently, or people who put stuff into their shopping cart but didn't complete the purchase, or maybe it's like high ticket value purchasers. But the point is you want to have different email segmentations, upload them, and then you can message to them directly when they're checking their Facebook every day, or checking their Gmail or their Facebook or their YouTubes every day, and that's really quite powerful. So the cool thing about social remarketing using emails is that these are people who've previously agreed to kind of give up their email, their contact information, and as a result, they're familiar with your brand. And so what you'll find is that these people that you're going to market to are something like 3 times more likely to engage with your content or your promoted updates and ads than just random strangers who are not familiar with your brand. And when they do engage with your ads that are targeted based off of their emails, they're twice as likely to convert to a sale. And so, this just goes back to the old saying, like, your best customers come from kind of the people who are your existing prospects and customers. And this is definitely true of social and search and video ads that are targeted off of emails. So just here's kind of a big picture here in terms of how profound this changes in terms of ad targeting based on email addresses. So like, I remember a time when we would target ads based on like websites, like, I don't know, like I would put an ad on like Home and Garden Weekly or something, and I had no idea who was visiting those websites, and I was just hoping people would click on those ads. It got a little better in the last few years where they had search ads, so I could target people who were going after specific keywords, or remarketing. I was targeting people who visited certain pages on my site, but now it's like unbelievable. I can be super precise and just target specific individuals like Larry or Johnny. Like I can target specific people with their email addresses and be sure that I'm getting the right people with the right message at the right time. So I just wanted to give you kind of some example use cases here. Basically, what I'm saying here is that this notion of people-based pay-per-click marketing, it's kind of like the glorious email marketing back in the day when it was so great, but in some ways it's actually a lot better. So what do I mean by this? So in email marketing, if you're working at a company and you're trying to get a blast out, I don't know, to support some program that you're interested in, you're gonna have to talk to a list manager, and that list manager will say like, okay, Larry, the next available spot for a news email blast is like, December of 2018 or something like this, so. It's because the list gets booked out, and they want to limit the number of times they blast the list, because if they blast it too often, you're going to unsubscribes and all this stuff. So, inventory constraints, all this problem with list burnout, et cetera, these are no longer an issue when it comes to people-based marketing, where you're taking those same emails, but targeting them with ads on Facebook or on YouTube or on Gmail, because there's no inventory constraints. It's not free. You still need to spend like a few dollars to run these campaigns. But the point is, hopefully you have a very targeted list, and so it shouldn't cost too much, because you're not trying to go after the entire world. You're just going after a specific finite number of people, maybe 10,000 people or something like this, and that's still very, very economical. So I wanted to just give you a couple of examples of how email-based identity paid advertising using social can greatly open up new marketing use cases. And just to do this, I wanted to tell you a little story here. Last year, I blogged about this story about Google and Google Plus and Gmail being kind of broken up, and it was kind of a big deal because previously they were trying to make a big deal of it being integrated, and I just happened to discover that they were now no longer integrated. So I just blogged about this on my blog, and I tweeted it on my Twitter, and I shared it on my Facebook. But the point was, I wanted lots of people to hear about this, but not just anyone. I wanted influential people, like journalists and like industry gurus to see this news that I had discovered. And so I don't have everyone's email, and it would take forever for me to email all of them. So what I did was I just promoted the posts, these social updates, not to everyone, but to sort of a curated list of 1,666 very influential people who I basically assembled a list of reporters for like TechCrunch and Mashable and all these other places. And so I have a list of people for Facebook and Twitter based on their emails and identities. And so I promoted that post, and within 2 hours, this story is now like showing up on Marketing Land, and you can see in the yellow it says like this change brought to our attention by Larry of the WordStream blog, confirmed by Google, blah blah blah. The point is, I was trying to get my marketing out to specific individuals, just like how you would using email marketing, but I was able to do this using a paid promoted post on Facebook and Twitter instead. And so it actually gets a lot better. So remember, there was like 1,600 names on those lists, and so lots of other reporters at other publications. And so by Saturday, the story was in VentureBeat and Gizmodo and Engadget, the Register. Like by Monday, it was on over 500 national and international news networks like the Business Insider, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, CNET, Fast Company, et cetera, et cetera. And this is a true story. You can Google it, like Larry Kim, Google Plus, and Gmail, and you'll see all the different press pickups. But I'm telling you, what's so leveraged about this is that I got all this value, 500 press pickups, massive brand exposure for my company and myself, 100,000 site visitors at a total cost of $50, in about 10 minutes to execute the campaign. And so I hope you can see here to get a sense for how leveraged, promoting content and offers to specific individuals rather than less specific audiences, like people who like certain things like that's not very targeted, whereas a specific email is there's an individual behind that, and that can be very valuable. And the reason why this was so cheap was because my list size was only 1,000 journalists, and so like my point here is just merely to point out that all this pitching, like all these things that you used to do kind of at scale using email marketing, you should be considering using paid advertising targeted by emails, and just to give you one other idea here, which it's basically how do you generate a list of emails to market to. Okay, so I mean, in that example that I just gave you, I just did it manually. I kind of searched through the internet and tried to figure out people's emails and their social IDs. But what if you wanted to build up a huge list of like 10,000 or 100,000 names of people to market to? Well, there's all sorts of new ad formats, such as the Facebook social direct response ad format, where rather than having a user click on a form and having to type in all their information and email address, they can just hit the subscribe button, and that'll transmit the user's name, first name, last name, email, and other information automatically. And this is a really very cheap and effective way to build up your list from scratch. Twitter basically has the same thing. It's called a lead generation card format. And I just wanted to talk briefly about YouTube and Gmail and AdWords. I mean, previously we were talking about Facebook and Twitter, but all of this email-based matching, you can do this in your Google AdWords, like the search ads based on keywords. You can make it so that your ads only show up if a certain individual, like a certain user email address is doing the search. Remember, there's a 50-50 chance that like any given user is logged into one or more of Google's properties, such as YouTube, Gmail, Google Search, etc. So that's how they're able to match them up in terms of like who's doing the search. So you just upload a list of emails, and you can target keyword-based ads. You can also target YouTube video ads. So those are those ads that show up at the beginning of a YouTube video, as well as Gmail ads. Those are those kind of sponsored promotional emails that show up at the top of your inbox. You can target those emails based on users' emails. So that's all I have today in terms of kind of the topic of the new email marketing. I hope this was helpful. Definitely, you should still be doing email marketing, like the organic, regular email marketing. But I think you would be smart to think about ways to leverage all these new advertising technologies, like the lead generation ad format, to dramatically grow the size of your lists, and then using all the innovations in ad technologies for targeting ads based on email addresses as a way to dramatically increase the usage and the value of to capture more value from having those email lists in your organization. So that's all I had. Thanks so much. Have a great day.